This is Jen Rubin, editor-in-chief of The Contrarian. We're delighted to have back one of our very most active contrarians, Andrew Weissmann. Andrew, the government is doing what authoritarian regimes do all the time. And whether it's free speech, whether it's scapegoating certain groups, but they're also going after labor unions. They have tried to recognize to try to throw out the union from TSA. These are the people who are the security people, the eyes and the ears that keep us safe when we get on airplanes. They have now been sued by the union, which has taken them to court. But it's not just people that this administration is going after. They're going after somebody's else. Can you read for us the TSA notice that went out recently?
Absolutely. So, I'm tempted if this weren't so serious to say we're going to the dogs, but we are on this podcast going to talk about that because part of the TSA program, as everyone who travels, are highly trained dogs that can detect not just drugs, which this administration says they care so much about sort of drug interdiction, but also bombs. Bomb sniffing dogs are incredibly important. I mean, I keep on saying this, this administration is by eradicating all of these people with expertise is making us far less safe. Well, I mean, it's so laughable, but I'm going to read to you now what they're doing, which is that they have actually cut the TSA K9 bomb sniffing units from TSA. And I'm going to read to you the announcement, which is the new guidance given by TSA, which is, as of this moment, all, in caps, all, ALL, requests for everything to include vet visits, kenneling, dog food, have been put on hold until we receive further guidance. I apologize for the confusion, but due to new guidance sent out last night, nothing is being approved at this time. I mean,
this would be laughable if it weren't so horrifying. They don't want their people to buy dog food for the dogs.
Yeah, I mean, everything about this, no matter how you look at it, whether you look at it from the merely stupid, like the idea that you are going to get rid of people and animals that can protect us, just in terms of the policy choice, that you're getting rid of all sorts of criminal tools. You're getting rid of people that can make us safer. And now dogs that can make us safer. So there's just the policy choice. There's the divide and conquer of wanting to get rid of unions. The reason you target and scapegoat Perkins Coie or Covington Burling is so that you have people are cowed and feared, and you basically can engage in divide and conquer. A third aspect of this is the cruelty of it, like the idea that if you're like, a lot of times you do have to let somebody go. You do have to fire somebody for you give them an opportunity, you give them another opportunity, and you try to make them better. But sometimes you have a reduction in force, or for cause somebody's let go, you try and do it in the most humane way possible. Here, the idea that it's just slash and burn, it is very much the sort of chainsaw massacre, or as people joke, the Tesla chainsaw massacre. And you're seeing this even with pets. And you keep on wondering what it takes to break through. But I'm a dog lover. I know the contrarians have a lot of dog lovers on them. And the idea that you would say no food
or medical care.
I mean,
right. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And obviously, the agents develop a special bond with the dogs. And as far as I know, most, if not all of them, bring them home with them at night. They have to be bonded to the person that is using them. So believe me, they will be fed because these people will do it, but it'll come out of their own pockets, which is ridiculous. These people are not highly paid. And if you've ever taken your dog to the vet, you know how expensive that is. It can be in the thousands of dollars. And just regular checkups, as you know, are not cheap either, for pets. But the notion that they think that it's worth it, that they're going to get some giant pool of money from not having dogs and not having dog handlers, it's absurd. It's absurd. And
It's not about, it is just not about the money. It is about the cruelty and the
yes,
eradication. If it was about the money, you wouldn't be trying to send immigrants to Guantanamo that doesn't have the facilities, and then realize you have to pull them back, which they have. I mean,
right,
it is simply, that is a story, but it is not about the money, nor is it in
exactly.
any way competent as to how you would do it. I talked to Jen Psaki about this because we've both been in government. If we had to sit down and someone said, okay, we need to cut, we need to reduce this, there would be a lengthy discussion. No one wants to hear this because it's not sort of like a TV, you're fired. You would really do an assessment of who do you need? How do you best do this? Where can you make more out of the people you have? And you'd try and make the smartest choice as to where do you have to make cuts and why. I mean, it would be a
Exactly.
thought through process. The idea that you can have somebody from the Department of Education saying, "Oh, by the way, we fired them, and by the way, we kept the good ones."
How do
Really,
they possibly know? How do they
right?
possibly
Really,
know?
exactly. I mean, it's just a farce, and this is why you have Judge Alsup saying, and this is him saying this, not you, Jen, or me, saying it's a sham and that it's a lie when you're trying to have sort of have this sort of masquerade as something substantive when you say you're doing it for cause, that you're getting rid of probationary employees when you're not. And he said
Exactly.
just essentially a bald-faced lie.
It is. And contrarians, if there were an issue that is near and dear to you, like it is to you, to all of us, and pets fall into that, you can certainly, there's a public number for TSA. You can call them up. You can write them a letter. You can go on social media and you can shame them into reversing this particular policy. It's absurd. And I count on all of our contrarians to speak up, but from the dog lovers at Contrarian to the dog lovers in our subscription family and beyond, we hope you help reverse this obnoxious, cruel decision. Thanks
People
so much
need,
for being with us, Andrew.
you're welcome. People need to bark loudly.
There you go. And believe me, our bark is just as bad as our bite. See you next time. Bye-bye.